Put on a suit. Drink water. Don't drink and drive.
Game over!
Take it light.
Now you're more fluent.
Dracula, he's got three!
Up, Bears.
So this is really good right here. Absolutely. Let's do it.
All right. Welcome to the All American Hoops Podcast, episode 28. I'm Chris Driscoll. It is so hard to put my feelings now into words. I've been a massive Celtics fan for years, and and even though I was a fan in 2008 when they won their most recent title before last night. I can't even describe like the the emotions right now that I'm thinking of, because this team has just been through so much between Tatum and Brown making it to the conference finals again and again and again, losing in the finals in 2022, having to trade a couple cornerstone pieces in Marcus Smart and Rob Williams, obviously coming back from a 3-0 lead just to lose Game 7. A ton of low points, a ton of high points, and yesterday they officially got over the top. So just an unbelievable team, an unbelievable franchise, and it's definitely one of the best teams that I've ever watched in regard, especially definitely the best Celtics team I've watched, I think, and that's including the 2008 Celtics. It's 08 Celtics won more in the regular season. The Celtics won more in the playoffs, or I should say they lost less because they won the same amount, obviously. But it's just unreal to think about. Yeah, this is what we're doing in the show pretty much. I'm having John and Matt on as usual. I'm also having Matt McCann on, who's been a guest on the show multiple. This will be his third time on. Yeah, we're going to be doing some in this episode. We're going to be doing some toasts. My glass of champagne right here. So we're super excited about that. And since I mentioned that this is easily one of the best, if not the best team that I've watched in a while, besides the 2017 Warriors, we did want to recognize the entire season. So we're going to be doing a draft actually of the games this year, and I'll explain the rules when they happen. But dude, and obviously I'm gonna be laying out all my feelings into words now, and that's what John, Matt, and Matt are gonna be doing too. But in a way, all of us are just speechless with what we just watched, and that was one of the most dominant stretches of basketball that we've seen. So, and before I dive into that, this would officially mark the end of this season. So also the end of my first year doing a podcast. I started this in November, so like the very beginning of the season, and it's been awesome. It's better than I ever imagined. And like, yeah, the fact that I was able to get picked up by Sports Fluent and Showtown Hoops was an amazing, has been one of the most amazing experiences. Being able to talk into a microphone and then have strangers all over the world watching this and leaving comments. That's been awesome. So just want to give this. I'm going to give this time. I'm giving the time in the monologue now. I'm going to do it at the end of the show too, to thank everyone who has contributed, from friends at home to family members. That's especially John and Matt for coming on most episodes. That's been amazing. So just massive thanks to everyone, and I'm just super excited for the show, and it's going to be an awesome one. This is the All American Hoops Podcast.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show. Welcome. Joining me is, as always, my older brother, John Driscoll.
Hey, H. Thanks for having me on, man. This is going to be a good one.
My younger brother, Matt Driscoll.
Can everyone hear me all right? We were having
Yes,
some
sir.
technical difficulties earlier. What a feeling. I'm an emotional wreck right now. It is so exciting to be on, Chris. Always a pleasure.
And for the third time, as I mentioned in the introduction, we have Matt McCann.
Thank you, AH. I have been shaking all day, ready to get my thoughts out. Got the dad hand-me-down Larry Bird jersey retirement ceremony shirt, so we are locked and loaded for some good Celtics basketball talk.
Absolutely. And yeah, I'm happy you brought that up because I did want to thank Matt Driscoll for this wonderful birthday presents, which was a couple weeks ago. So yeah, it says Eastern Conference Finals, and it's Eastern Conference Finals after they won that. Yeah, unfortunately, my birthday is May 26th and not June 26th, so that would have been a better gift. But either way, it's been awesome. It's an awesome thing. Awesome. Matt, Matt Driscoll, do you want to share your T-shirt too?
Oh well, I have the pleasure and honor of wearing the very famous Al Horford is good shirt because I think this shirt actually does him a disservice because Al Horford is elite and he's a Hall of Famer. He is not just good.
Absolutely. And John Driscoll, what do you got on? I know I said Driscoll, but go ahead.
You're muted.
Sorry, I'm trying to be respectful with everyone talking because I'm just going to blurt out stuff when everyone's talking because I'm so excited. I have not only the Eastern Conference Finals MVP, but the Finals MVP, Jaylen Brown, who is a top 10 player in the NBA. Go argue a wall.
Let's go. Guys, it's unbelievable. For those of you who don't know, so we have a group chat. We talked about it on the show before. It's the four of us and our friend Andrew. Shout out to Andrew Sexton. He's even though he's silent, he's just as big a Celtics fan as all of us as well. So he doesn't talk as much as us, but he's definitely the energy is there for him 100%. So shout out to him. But beginning of the year, we made a group chat with the four of us, with the five, I should say. McCann has been over our house a ton for the Celtics games. Past 3 years, he's been over our house for all the playoffs games pretty much. So that's been awesome. So we wanted to kind of stay in touch during the regular season while the Mats were off of college. And like come October, we were like, okay, we need a name for the group chat. And then we remembered right after the Celtics traded Marcus Smart, John said, okay, teams need to make a gut wrenching trade sometime to really like it's a heart wrenching trade to like it's gonna be emotional, but it's gonna be worth it in the long run. And so he said, this is the year, and we decided that this would be the year. I know teams say it, we say it every year that this is the year that they finally get over the top. This is the year they finally go to the top. This was truly the year that we actually meant it, and we just kept on saying it and saying it and saying it because we actually believed it this time around, and we were goddamn right. So it's just the best feeling in the world. Okay. I'm still on. So yeah, that's my camera's being annoying, but if anyone else wants to jump in on this topic, we could, because I feel like for this segment, we could just talk about how we're feeling right now. Matt Driscoll, you want to start off?
Yeah, I would just like to say that all of the haters, the doubters, and losers of Jaylen Brown in the offseason have really been quiet recently. Eastern Conference Finals MVP, Finals MVP. I was told he was overpaid. I was told he was an idiot. I was told he had no left hand, and he's proved everyone wrong. And like John said before, arguably a top 10 player in the league. Not even arguably, he is.
He is.
Just a guy, it's always great seeing a homegrown guy just grow and become the star you always wanted him to be. And he's truly become he's been, a better player than I thought he would ever be. He was drafted third. So, not like saying that he was like some like sleeper pick, but people hated on it when he was drafted. They said it was the worst pick in the lottery, worst pick in the first round. And, oh wait, is Chris hiding for some reason?
What are you talking about? There wasn't anyone who said that, but that the Celtics should have drafted Buddy Hield third overall over Jaylen Brown. No one said that. If someone did, it definitely wasn't me either. No, whoever said that.
Well, Buddy Hield, elite shooting, maybe. Yeah. Who would have known? But do not get Matt started on Buddy Hield. But just shout out Jaylen Brown right now. That's all I have to say.
I was going to talk and then I muted myself because I didn't want to. I wanted to keep this podcast family friendly when we're talking about Buddy Hield. I think I'll just start talking. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, just the entire organization. I think the Celtics proved, and I think the Nuggets did a good job of this last year, but it's starting to show that franchises can win by being homegrown, by doing it in the system, doing it the right way. You make a couple good moves as a solid executive like Brad Stevens is. He's done miracles on me. And it's just they did it in a really respectable. They didn't cop out. They didn't sell one of their main guys. They could have traded Jaylen Brown for KD. They didn't. They stuck with who they wanted. They could have fired Joe Mazzulla last year after that horrible final or Eastern Conference Finals loss. They didn't. They stuck with it. They stuck to the path. They made the right decisions, and they got it done. And this was the year. And that is what the group chat is now called. It's called "This Was the Year" because it was. And anyone that wants to say that Boston sucks, they can kick rocks. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, so obviously everything said there was 100% true. Yeah, the haters and losers are sick. It's something I've been saying for years now, and now all of them are sick because even the haters that had said like, "Oh, only rings matter," which at the end of the day, that's what matters the most, which is why we're so excited. I did just want to take a deep dive into the actual finals game because we are going to be giving mad props and shout outs and giving toasts to all the players. But yeah, just for now, I do want to talk about the actual basketball game because just because lost in all this emotions now that we have about this. The Celtics are finally NBA champions now. It's now we just watched some awesome basketball being played for months, and more specifically, I want to talk about the basketball that has been played for the past couple of weeks now. So the Celtics So the Celtics ended it last night by beating the Mavs in 5 games, which was my and Matt McCann's exact prediction: Celtics in 5. You can take a look at my article on primetimesportstalk.com to take a look at it. I do think that I gave pretty accurate analysis from it. I know like a lot of people like the Celtics were overall the favorites, but I do know, but like if you were to ask, like I do think like a lot of like the overall predictions, I kind of feel like that like the majority of people did have the Mavs winning. And there's really no way to prove that, but like I just feel like anyone in the most people in the media had them winning. All of the ESPN so-called experts had, or not all of them, like half of the experts had the Mavs winning the finals, and I just never saw it happening. Obviously, we're all diehard fans, so and we're also all fans that do like acknowledge that there are like sports gods out there somewhere. And yeah, just we never really want to jinx. We never really want to give anything. But at the end of the day, like I think all of us just recognize how great this team was. They played some awesome basketball all season long. They were playing great in the playoffs, but no one really thought that they would, or not no one, I don't want to say no one, but a lot of people just didn't really didn't think that would carry over into the finals. And they just played phenomenally. So, Matt McCann, did you want to start off by giving your thoughts on the overall series?
Yeah, I think it kind of, I wouldn't say it went exactly as we all had kind of said, but it really just came down to like matchups, like we were talking about. It came to defense, like we all talked about. And I think the Celtics really hit home the idea of we are the most switchable team in basketball and we're going to kill you with that. Everything was a switch. And I think we noticed, especially last night, the few times that they didn't switch and they decided to double or drop, it created open shots. Josh Green did all he could to kind of extend the series, but defensively overall in this entire series, they held Mavs to under 100 points in every game but the one that they lost, and that was kind of a wash by halftime, so I don't even know if I really want to count that one. They just Jaylen Brown took the assignment of guarding Luka. He had that clip yesterday, if Luka's in, I'm staying in. He really just took pride in taking the assignment, and it's just a reflection of what he did all year. It stinks that he couldn't get all defensive team. It stinks that he couldn't get all NBA team, but he proved that the playoff awards taste a whole lot sweeter. And I'm really, really grateful that he was able to show out. He really proved a lot of people wrong.
Yeah, Matt. Shout out to you and Chris for predicting the series right. Me and John were, I guess, Celtic haters in a way for choosing Celtic in 6 instead of Celtics in 5. But overall, the series in general just shows that the Celtics were the best team in the league. And I mean, we've been saying it for the whole season, but every game that they won, all 4, there was a different best player for the Celtics. Game 1 was Porzingis. Game 2, obviously, Drew had 27. Game 4, Jalen was the best player. Or sorry, not game 4. Game 3, Jalen was the best player on the floor. I forget how many points he had. But then last night, Tatum kind of did what he had to do. You know, he was very inefficient, like for the entire final. So last night, he really needed to kind of show that he is the best player on the team and show that he is the best player on the floor of this series. He had 31 and 11 assists. But yeah, that was really the step that I feel like all Celtics fans were very happy to see. But yeah, the series just showed how deep and how great this team was.
Yeah, you guys touched on pretty much a lot of the stuff that I wanted to kind of bring up, and you make good points. I think that when you get to late rounds in the NBA playoffs, it's not always who won the most games or, you know, if this team beat that team and you lost to that team earlier in the year, then that is how it works. That's not really how it works. You know, I think it's a matchup kind of league. You know, who's to say maybe if, you know, Minnesota or Denver makes it to the finals instead of Dallas, maybe they push it to 6 or 7 games. I still think the Celtics would have been champions regardless of who they played, but I think the Celtics just matched up really well with Dallas. I mean, you can make the argument that Luka was the best, let's say, offensive player on the floor, and he was. But and I think it comes down to Joe's game plan. And we need to give credit to Joe Mazzulla. A lot of people slandered him throughout the season when they were on their way to a 64-win season. You know, Kendrick Perkins made that bird head comment. I don't know how you can be a, you know, prominent figure in the media and say that about a head coach, regardless of how you feel about him. Let's put aside that he's absolutely wrong. Joe Mazzulla deserves every bit of credit that he gets this offseason. I'm looking forward to it. But, I mean, the game plan of just switching everything on Luka, realizing that he's going to get his regardless, but also realizing you have elite on-ball defenders. Let's see what they can do one-on-one and then limit everyone around them. They've done that in the past against Joel Embiid, and obviously it worked this series. And I think that, I mean, at the end of the day, Celtics are 2024 NBA champs.
Yeah, that was said beautifully, guys. It's the entire season it's been awesome. And John, I'm happy you brought up Perk just because I can respect his apology, but it honestly just doesn't feel right. It's just like letting him back in the Celtics fan club, which I understand he played for the team, so maybe he has like a little more pull in what it means to be a Celtic than we do. But at the end of the day, like he kind of gave into the media. Like usually the media has like Celtics guys on to like fight with to argue with them back and forth, but the entire season long, we're talking about how amazing the Celtics team was. That's not what everyone else thought. It's been Jason Tatum is overrated. Jaylen Brown can't go left and he's overpaid. Drew Holiday and Al Horford are old. Kristaps Porzingis is too injured, which ended up being true, but he was still able to contribute in many ways. Joe Mazzulla blows. So I just the entire year I was just wondering why exactly is this team winning so much? And people are saying, oh, they're just they're just front running merchants. They're 3-point merchants. They're regular season merchants. Obviously not. And I know a lot of people are just going to comment saying the entire there was the easiest playoff run of all time, and Colin Cowherd already said today, they beat a 5 seed. This team was so damn good, and like my main pushback against the entire notion of their competition and everything. The Nuggets were supposed to be the team that put up the best fight against the Celtics. They didn't lose to the team. They didn't even lose to the team that lost to the Celtics. They lost to the team that lost to the team to the Celtics. So you play who's in front of you and you dominate them. The Celtics took care of business all season long. They won games. They won them big, and it's exactly what they did in the playoffs too. So I have zero reason to believe that anything would have been differently had every team would have been healthy, had they had to play Jokic to the finals. Maybe they would have had to play more games like they have in the past. But at the end of the day, this is one of the best teams I've ever watched and the 2024 NBA champions, and nothing will ever change that. But as long as we don't have anything else to say about the series, we are going to get into our toast part of the show. So I did have I did have a couple ideas of how we we're going to go about this. I did throw around the idea last night. Maybe we're all going to get dressed up very nicely in suits to pretend this is like a wedding or something. Jaylen Brown also brought up the fact this in Game 3 that this is like their graduation party. I do have my cap and gown in my closet right over there, so I could pull that out if I wanted to. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I just feel like this is a regular podcast. We're just gonna keep it like it is, even though this is a very, very special occasion. And you know me, I usually like to share the wealth on this podcast. So I usually like to go last and get my thoughts out first. But however, I will be going first in line for the toast today, just because I really, really want to get this one out of the way. Because the Celtics leader, the old man, Al Horford, 38 years old. People forget he was the starting center on the team that the 08 Celtics had to be in 7 games. He has been good for so long. LeBron James, Kevin Durant, they had 2 of the best longevities of all time, that we forget how awesome of a player Al Horford has been. And he's an awesome player, an awesome person, an amazing leader. I have not heard one negative thing about him besides the fact that that he was awesome for a few years with the Celtics. Then he goes to the Sixers, plays awful with them, and then leaves them, and then plays awesome with the Celtics again. Which, by the way, like I know you guys already like him, so I don't need to sell him on you already by telling him everything about the Sixers too. So the very first cheers goes to my man Al Horford. Cheers to Al Horford, NBA champion.
Cheers to Al Horford.
Cheers, Big Al.
Imagine not being able to win or use the most winning player in NBA history, Al Horford.
Simply cannot be my franchise. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. Whoever wants to. Yeah, John, you want to go next?
Yeah, I think this is tough, but I mean, you kind of broke it down where we could look at current players, past players, maybe coaches.
Whoever you want. Yeah. Whoever you, it could be a player, it could be like one thing, it could be a group of people, it could be anyone.
Okay, so I am going to make a toast to the guy on my shirt, the Eastern Conference and Finals MVP. He had a really, really tough end to last season. He got a lot of slander, maybe a little too much, but rightfully so, got a lot of slander. He got a big contract, rightfully deserved, but still got more slander on top of that. And he proved everyone wrong this year. Regular season, maybe his numbers were a little bit more down just because he was sacrificing a lot, but this was his best regular season of his career. Not even a question, both sides of the ball. He got snubbed of an all-NBA team. He got snubbed of an all-defensive team. And he showed in this playoffs why he is a top 10 player in the league. Cheers to Jaylen Brown.
To Jaylen Brown.
Cheers.
Hey, Juice.
Matt, you can go next.
All right. I'm trying to think because I got about 800 people that I could name right now. I'm about to name Daniel Tice for getting some 2022 finals minutes. I think for me, it would just be right to follow up JB with Big Deuce. Jason Tatum, JT. He's been the face of this franchise for 4 or 5 years now. With that comes a lot of pressure, a lot of responsibility. He's kept his head so level, talking to the media, being a great father, on and off the court, just seems to be just such a nice guy. And he is like a great role model to have for like Celtics fans growing up. I remember when I was growing up, I always used to look at like Paul Pierce and KG and just see their like intensity and like their tenacity. Paul Pierce aged a little poorly with that role model status, but in the moment it was great. And he just kind of exemplifies what it means to be a great Celtics basketball player. And I think him getting this him being so selfless throughout the regular season, getting all the hate there, and then in the playoffs struggling in some ways and just being able to lift up his team in whatever way necessary. It's what a winning player does, and what gives me so much faith that they're going to be back in this same situation next year. So cheers to JT.
Cheers to JT.
I remember, Matt, when he was drafted, we were sitting in the McDonald's, our local McDonald's, watching the draft on Matt's phone, and I wanted Josh Jackson instead of Jason Tatum. And
Me too.
You said Tatum is Josh Jackson with the jump shot, and I think that might be the biggest undersell of all time. And I'm very happy for that. But now it's my turn. I am going to toast to somebody who we defended along with everybody on this team. We have defended for the past 2 seasons. He got a ton of slander. Never knew when to call timeouts. He has great courtside seats. He's got jiu-jitsu at 8 a.m. We heard all the jokes. We said a lot of them, but we stayed true. I heard that, last year, if the Celtics had Ime Udoka, they would have made it to the finals and won, which I don't understand that. But cheers. I don't even know why I'm talking about Ime. Cheers to a way better coach, Joe Mazzulla. Very thankful for that, man.
Cheers to Joe.
Cheers.
I really hope that he enjoyed his he enjoyed watching how the hell am I drawing a blank now? What's his favorite movie? Is it The Team? Is
The
that
Town.
what it's called? The Town. Jesus Christ.
You probably watched it 4 times last night.
What a player. What a coach. Amazing. I think I'm going to stay on the same track as off the court guys. John talked about him a little bit. We have to talk about our president of basketball operations, Brad Stevens. This is a guy who has been in the public since, I want to say, when I was in the 5th grade, when he was coaching Butler to back-to-back Final Fours. That was awesome. Seeing Butler was a school that I'd never really heard of, and then he's dragging this team to the Final Four, and then Danny Ainge puts enough trust in him to become the head coach. Overachieves in that massively by just winning more games always than he's used to. 2018, Hayward and Irving get injured, and then he's able to lead a young Celtics team to the Eastern Conference Finals. Got slandered a ton in 2021 for underachieving. The people were entertaining the idea of him getting fired, but instead of getting fired, he gets promoted to president of basketball operations, and he's an even better president than coach, which is unreal to say. He obviously made the very tough decision trading Marcus Smart over the offseason, and as much as of a gut punch it was, it ended up being the right decision. So shout out to Brad Stevens. Cheers to Brad Stevens for being the best executive in the league.
Executive of the year.
He's done miracles on me.
Is he the best executive in all of sports right now?
I don't know who'd be second. I really don't. If you want to.
Oh, sorry, I forgot Jerry Jones. He's great.
Robert Kraft's a real stand-up guy.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to let each of you. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I think I'm going to let each of you get just one more because I want to jump into the draft in a little bit.
Who goes after you, Chris? Was it me?
Yeah,
John.
Yes.
Okay, so I think I had a couple different options here. I could go past player, current player, a couple current players, but I am going to go with a current player, and that current player is Drew Holiday.
Ooh.
Drew came in here. Bucks fans lied to us about Drew Holiday in the playoffs. Every single time, we've seen it over the course of a couple of years now in the playoffs. The Celtics have, mind farts, and they lose control. They don't know what they're doing. Every single time they got down the stretch, and it looked like they were going to be the Celtics of old. Drew Holiday stepped up. He drove to the rim. He had great games in that Indiana series, great games in the finals. Put him in that dunker spot. He finished around the rim when he needed to. We're not going to talk about that game 4 against
or
Dallas.
5, really.
Yeah. He had a good game last night. I think he had 16 and 11 last night, something like that. But Drew came in as a guy who already won a championship. He was already kind of known as the best, if not one of the best defenders in the league. He could have very well come in here with an ego. He could have come in here, not willing to take on less of a role and sacrifice like they all did. But he was more than willing to do so. And the Celtics are not NBA Finals champions without Drew Holiday. So cheers to Drew Holiday.
Cheers to Drew Holiday.
Cheers. This one hurts, but it's needed. Matt, you touched upon this earlier. Chris, you also touched upon this. I was talking about how Jason Tatum kind of exemplifies what it means to be a Boston Celtic, but who he taught that from is Marcus Smart, and it's always been Marcus Smart, and he is everything that it means to be a Celtic, everything that it means to have Celtics pride. It really is a shame that he wasn't able to get it done, that we had to make that sacrifice to get KP, but it is kind of fitting that even him not being on the team, he played such a huge role in getting to where we are now, where we can talk about this. It's like, it's surreal, truly. He had 10 phenomenal years with this team, and I hope he makes it back. I hope he can contribute. Bring Marcus back, please, Brad. But yeah, he's just always been great. 6th overall pick, Tony Allen, duplicate. Thank you, Marcus. Love and trust.
Thank you, Marcus.
Thank you, Marcus.
Love and trust.
He will be back. I 100% agree with that. Just because they won the title. And I know people are saying they won because of him being gone. I don't believe that for a second.
Nope, that's not true.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm happy that someone did mention him. And last but not least, Matt Driscoll. Who we got for the last one?
All right. So I'm debating between two right now. I don't know if I should go player or non-player. I am going to go with the non-player. I'm going to go with Celtics owner Wick Grusback because
Absolutely.
Shout out Wick. He said many times, I don't own this team. I didn't buy this team to make money off of it. I bought it to bring championships. I brought it to win championships, and he did that. Second championship as the owner, I believe. I don't know if he was the full owner in 2008, but or full president in 2008. But shout out Wick. It's awesome to have your team owned by a guy that just is a fan and truly cares. Like you see him in the games on these sidelines, just yelling him, not like the level of known D-bag Mark Cuban, but he's there supporting his guys. So shout out Wick. I'll forever love you.
Shout out Wick.
Mr. Wick.
Also, Chris, I know you said one more. I'm going to say two more.
I was gonna add a couple more. So yeah, go ahead. Yeah, absolutely.
I just like to take this time out to shout out Kristaps Porzingis. He has no idea the impact that he has had on my life. When he was traded for Marcus Smart, we were very upset. And then we watched a Kristaps Porzingis highlight tape. We knew he was good, but man,
the guy
he came in here. Knicks fans told me he was a diva. Knicks fans told me, he's just going to get hurt. He'll give up. He was awesome. And even when he was hurt, he wanted to play. He said, I would literally die on the floor. He literally has changed my life, Kristaps Porzingis. It's unbelievable. I love that man so much. So shout out Kristaps Porzingis.
Excellent. And I will add one more player, and then I'm also going to do one more thing at the end. Okay, so the one more player, we're going to add Mr. Driscoll's favorites, Derek White. So I got to hold myself accountable. I'm someone who tweeted out no, all caps, when they traded Josh Richardson. I'm a big Josh Richardson fan. He played awesome for the Celtics at the beginning of the 22-22 season. I don't want to hear anyone tell me otherwise.
No one's keeping receipts on that. You don't have to admit that. It's okay.
We are.
We will not call you out on that.
We wouldn't have exposed you.
Okay. I got almost accountable. As someone who as someone who has taken 1 million victory laps just in the past 24 hours over Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum and Joe Mazzulla, about how right I was, I gotta hold myself accountable just in this one sense, because I'm pretty sure that I also tweeted out in, I want to say, game game 3 of the Bucks series, Derek White blows because he was very bad in that game 3. I looked up later. So, but okay, enough. We don't talk about the negatives. Derek White has been phenomenal. He's been one of the best defenders in the league. I had him as my all defensive first team. I think Drew's number 1. I think you could make the argument that Derek White is number 2 for the best guard defender in the league. And that doesn't even factor in all the intangibles. I know that he has fewer teeth probably today than he did last night. But shout out to Derek White, one hell of a player and one hell of a teammate. Okay, and last one. Very, very last one. This does not do the Celtics, but this is gonna be a cheers to the 3 of you guys, actually, because I started this podcast this past, it was either November or October. I started the All American Hooper brand in October of 2020. It's been close to 4 years now that I've been running this. Time flies by. I started off with just like a funny Twitter account that sends out funny tweets about the Celtics a lot. Now I'm someone who has my own podcast, my own column. People are buying my shirts. Link in the bio, by the way. And it's something that's been amazing, and I could not do it without these 3 guys right here, especially like my brothers John and Matt, been the 2 biggest supporters from day one, and Matt McCann, who's been like a third brother to me in regards to the All American Hooper brand. So shout out to the 3 of you. I wouldn't be able to do this without you guys.
Cheers,
My heart is
AH.
warm. Cheers, AH.
Getting emotional over here. Buy a shirt, by the way, guys.
Mm-hmm. They're heat.
Buy a goddamn shirt.
Yes, they are. All right. So, I'm getting teary-eyed. Okay, so, so now we have, we have time. So, we are going to do a draft of the best Celtics games of the year. Basically, the only rules that I have. So like it's gonna be a similar snake draft to what we did the first time around, but it's gonna be reverse. We're gonna put Matt Driscoll at punishments for we're not gonna say anymore just because we told him that we wouldn't say it. But Matt will be getting the first pick. I will be getting second. John will be getting third, and then Matt McCann will be getting fourth. But the only rule is that you need to have at least one regular season and at least one playoff team on. One regular season game and one playoff game on your team. So there are a ton of memories from this season, and it's going to be great reminiscing on some of these. So, Matt Driscoll, will you do the honors of drafting the first overall game?
I see a Celtics title, and I get the first overall pick in a All-American Hooper snake draft. This is the greatest 24 hours of my life. With the first overall pick, I think this is pretty easy. I'm going to take last night's game, Game 5 of the finals, clinching game. The first championship I've ever seen, besides when I was 6 with the Celtics, or when I was 11 and when I was in 4th grade and 1st grade with the Giants. So truly an awesome game. That's the obvious number 1.
We also have to bring up the fact that Payne Pritchard's 3 at halftime was the loudest that it's ever been in the Driscoll household, and we've had some pretty loud moments, both good and bad. So it was the 4 of us, our father, and then 2 of our other friends. So yeah, just picture 7 guys just screaming at the top of their lungs over a basketball game. It was amazing. So yeah, that was nuts. Yeah.
Did anybody else like that shot went up? Like we all knew it was going in. Right?
I had 0 doubts whatsoever.
Like when Luka was at the free throw line, taking his second free throw, I looked down and I saw 4 seconds. I said, "Where's Peyton?" And I saw him on the wing. I was like, "It's wraps."
Yep. Okay, so with my first, what was that, John?
I wasn't that confident, but I like to tell it like this.
Yeah. So with my first overall pick, my first pick and the second overall pick in the draft, there are a ton of great playoff games, and there were some better than others. But however, I do believe that this one regular season game one stands down my favorite one, and that is the overtime win against the Wolves back in January. Both Tatum and Brown. Tatum at 45, Brown at 35. It was the first time they each had they scored 80 total. John was definitely there. I'm pretty sure the Matt was there too. We were at the St. Denis basketball courts watching it on our phones. It was amazing, and it was right around the time that Anthony Edwards debate started sparking up, and though they heated back up again in the playoffs, Jason Tatum continues to show that he's that guy.
Great
That
game.
was by far the best regular season game. It was like going through games. It was almost like tough to pick a couple of regular season games, just because. Like I know they didn't win all 82, but like they kind of took care of business for the most part in the regular season. But
Right.
the game was like above and beyond my number one regular season game this year. So with the third overall pick, I'm going to go with the playoff game, and it's going to be game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals against Indiana. Much to note about that game. The Jaylen Brown. Well, let's start with the Jaylen Brown defense on Pascal Siakam to force that turnover when everyone thought the Celtics were dropping game 1 there. And then Joe Mazzulla drawing up an awesome play to isolate, or I guess somewhat isolate Jaylen Brown on the left corner. Great pass by Drew Holiday, I think it was. And just a fantastic shot, followed by a great overtime period by Jason Tatum, who was struggling a little bit down. He had a great first 3 quarters, struggled a lot in the fourth, and then really capitalized in that overtime period. He had a big 3, an and 1, and a couple free throws to cap it off, and that really set the tone for the series. It felt like Indiana really let that one get away, and they couldn't really fight back after that. So that's my
Great pick.
All right, guys, I get 2. You guys kind of took a lot of the ones I liked, but I'm taking 2 finals games here because this was the best finals that I've ever watched. So
Game 4.
first one I will be taking game 3. Yes, game 4. First one I will be taking game 3. It was just the gravity of being up 2-0, going on the road. Jalen and Jason both didn't really have that great of games coming in. It was the KP game 1, and then it was the Drew game 2. They were catching a lot of flack, just kind of being like, they can't carry this team. It was just one of those things, and they silenced that. They combined for 61 points. They each filled the stat sheet up completely. They took care of business. It was a blowout for a while, and then it ended up getting kind of close, but they still were able to get out of there and get up 3-0, and that was just such a relief, being up 3-0 as opposed to 2-1, and they did it. And then with the other one, it's going to be the game right before, the Drew Holiday game. Thank you, Drew Holiday. What a game. It was like every single time he got a rebound, it just went up and it was good, or he was turning around. He's not even a turnaround bump fade guy. He did a lot of great plays. He's so invaluable, and he just kind of encapsulated the entire season, why they got him. And it was really nice.
Yeah, great points there, Matt. Sorry to interrupt. I just want to say shout out the Bucks and shout out Giannis for wanting to ship him for a inefficient traffic cone. So shout out Giannis, shout out the Bucks organization.
It's a very good point, Matt. I can't believe the Bucks let him go. He was obviously the reason why they won that championship. No, I'm just kidding. But I guess it's my turn. And while I can go with a regular season game, I'm going to go with another Eastern Conference Finals game. And going to be game 3 in Indiana. And it was, we all watched the game at our house. I think we went to Parker House earlier in the day. And we were a little tuned up, but I think they were down 17 or 16 at one point. And I mean, we were all a little concerned. We were all a little worried. And I think Nemhard had like 89 points that night. But the Jays, especially Jason, never wavered. They held their composure. They fought back. They took it possession by possession. And what a great win. And to go up, we've seen it in multiple series here. To go up 3-0 is so valuable. It really takes the wind out of the sails of especially a lesser team. So awesome game. That's my second selection.
I'm having a tough time deciding between 2 of them. I would, however, feel silly leaving a finals game off the board. So I am going to go with game 1 of the finals. Matt, you went with 2 and 3, right? I just want to make that want to be sure. Yeah, so I'm going with game 1 of the finals. It was as we mentioned, it was the KP game. It just showed us that him on the floor opens up like another 2 pages in the playbook. That was awesome to see. Obviously, Horford's dunk from opening tap was amazing, and then just the fact that they were up 21, they cut it to 8, and then they did not fold at all. They just punched them right back in the face, closing the third quarter. That showed me that this team is different and completely rolled over into the rest of the series. So, yeah, it's a pretty easy one for me.
Very, very good selection, Chris. Talk about the living room getting loud. The Al Horford dunk to start the game. I think the windows were shaking. So I get 2 now?
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to take my regular season selection right now and take game 1 of the season versus the New York Knicks. This was a welcome to the team Kristaps game. I think he hit a 3 to either they were tied and he hit a 3 to go up 3. I'm trying to think how much time was left. I think it was like a little over a minute. Tatum at 34, KP at 30 in a game where Jaylen Brown really struggled. So it shows you that this team is just way different and just a great way to start the season. So that's my regular season game. One of my favorite games of the regular season because I was watching with a couple of Knicks fans. So that was awesome. And then, sorry, I'm just making sure we took game 3 off the board of Indiana and game 1, right?
Correct.
So I'm going to take game 4. Just a great game. Punch a ticket to the finals. Jaylen Brown won conference MVP, obviously conference finals MVP. Another game where it was, like back and forth. Andrew Nembhard is going to be a stud. He is unbelievable. But yeah, I'm going to take game 4. What a game.
So it looks like we banged out 7 of the playoff games and 2 regular season games, which isn't a bad thing at all. But just interesting. There weren't really too many special games from the first 2 rounds. Obviously there were some. There were some games that were pretty good. But I think I'm gonna go with the regular season game here. I'm gonna go with Christmas Day against the Lakers. Just because it kind of obviously. Christmas is Christmas. It's the best holiday. There is the whole notion of beating the Lakers is always a plus as well. And then also it was the day before that John and Matt came on the podcast for the first time around. So another personal thing, and we talked about the Lakers Celtics game. So another personal thing there. So yeah, this I don't know if this actually falls in the top 10 games of the entire season, but if you just factor in all the outside factors, I like this game to make my list.
All right, so this is my third selection. My regular season games that I listed are dwindling down. You guys picked a lot of good ones. I will say I'm going to go with another playoff game, though. I mean, I think this playoff round is so awesome. And I'm going to go with the one that started it all, Game 1 against Miami in the first round. Me and Chris were in TD Garden. Absolutely electric. I think the Celtics jumped out to an 11-0 lead. Chris, correct me if I'm wrong.
I feel like it was more than that. Okay, I feel like it was more than that. I could be wrong though.
I think they jumped out to 11-0, and then Miami called a timeout, and the place erupted. It was awesome, and I think it was really cool to see how. I think all the fans, especially the Nuts ones like us, we needed them to come out and punch them in the face to be like, let's put aside or put away all of the nervous energy and all of the thoughts about, oh, well, they did it last year. Maybe they'll do it again this year. They felt that as well. I could kind of have the idea that they felt that energy. And they jumped out and they pretty much ran. I know the Miami kind of punched back a little bit. They got a little close early in the second quarter, but they ran away with that game. Awesome game 1, and a great start to a championship run. So that's my third overall selection, and I really hope nobody takes my last regular season pick that I have listed on my list.
14-0, by the way, I just checked. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was an awesome game. Hauser was so good that game. He could not miss.
And we can't wait
destroying the zone.
We can't wait to have both Matts join us in TD Garden next year for our playoff.
Oh yeah.
That's going to be awesome.
That's
Yeah,
gonna
we
be
need
awesome.
we need all 5 of This Is the Year members in attendance.
That would be so
Absolutely.
great.
By the way, group chat 2-0 in the playoffs this year at attending games. Andrew Sexton went to
That's right.
game 1 of the finals.
That's right.
So
So cool.
yes.
Two,
Okay.
I think.
Well, I think it might have been game 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they won that one too. So
Yeah. So. All right. I'm kind of at a crossroads here. I feel like.
Oh, we do have to go just a little bit quicker this time. Like just so you know, like yeah. So just try to get your picks in, and then give like just a little segment. Okay, just make a little.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go with 2 regular season games. I think I got 2 finals games. I'm fine. So the first one I'm gonna go with, it was November 22nd against the Bucks. It was the first Drew v. Dame matchup. It was like a really big team win. It was like I think 3 or 4 guys were in 20 points and plus. Jaylen Brown had a sick windmill dunk. KP had 2 poster. One was an alley oop. It was just a really good game. They got out to like a 10-0 lead early, and then it was they were up 20 at one point, and then it got a little bit close. Dame hit a 3, but they were able to put it away, stay composed, and quell any of my fears of them blowing leads. And then, are we doing honorable mentions, Chris?
I don't know. I don't know if we can or not, but like yeah. Just get your 4th pick, and then we can see what we can do with some at the ends.
Okay, so instead of saving this for honorable mention, I'm putting it now. Last game of the regular season, April 14th against the Wizards. It was to get to 64 wins. Pritchard dropped 38, 12, and 9. He is the best game 82 player of all time, and that was one of the most fun games to watch because I love that dude so much. He's awesome.
God damn it. Okay, so it's my 4th pick. I'll be quick. I did have that Peyton Pritchard game on my list, though. That was such a great game. But I am going to say this game. It was I can't even find the date, but the first game the Celtics played Dallas in Dallas. What we didn't know at the time was a finals preview. They won 119 to 110. Jason Tatum with 39 and 11. They went into Luka's house, dominated him. Jaylen Brown dropped them on a mid-range step back. And, I mean, let's just say, it set the tone for the finals. Celtics owned the Dallas Mavericks this year.
they did.
Yes, they did.
Cool.
So my last pick, I am going to go with I forgot the exact date, but it was the day of the Belmar St. Patrick's Day parade, which the Celtics just absolutely obliterated the Warriors. After it's even for the past 2 years that they've just really struggled against the Warriors, including the finals. But even after the finals, they've struggled. Tatum's been like, it really felt like the Tatum's boogeyman was Steph and the Warriors, but Celtics literally beat them. They were. I'm pretty sure they were at one point up by like 55. So
Yeah,
that was an amazing game. Or no, it was an awful game actually, but an amazing game for the Celtics. Yeah, I got three regular season games in there, but they won 64 games, so I'm feeling pretty good about this one.
All right, I'll go quick. I'm gonna have another regular season game. Sorry, John, were you gonna say something?
No.
Okay. It's funny, we have 2 Wizards games on this list. I'm gonna go with February 9th. The Celtics beat the Wizards 113 to 129. Tatum at 35. You may say, what's the significance of this? It's the 40th win of the season.
Yes.
The 40
Yes.
rule. Believe in the 40-20 rule. Win 40 games before you lose 20, and you have a very good shot at winning the finals. And the Celtics did that this year. They actually did the 50-40 rule and 50-20 rule and the 60-20 rule they did this year.
That's right.
And what a team. NBA champions.
If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure the Peyton hits one buzzer beater and like missed like the half court shot. I think yeah, like at the end of the third quarter, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that was a great game. Yeah, love the 40-20 rule. You know what? Screw it. It's the NBA finals. Celtics just won the NBA finals. I think we're gonna bend the rules a little bit. Matt, did you want to give an honorable mention?
I'm just gonna rattle some off real quick.
Yeah.
December 28th, almost losing to the Pistons. That was hilarious.
That was on my list.
That was amazing. Yeah, it was on my list too. That was a great game.
Valentine's Day, they won by 50 against the Nets. Peyton Pritchard went off in the second half. It was ridiculous. December 20th and 23rd, it's a combo. 2 straight 140-plus point blowouts after the Warriors heartbreaker just completely changed my mood. I was home. And then one last one. It was I don't even know if I have it listed here, but it was a game. They beat the Suns in March. Me and the 2 Driscoll boys, not named Matt, were at Reef and Barrel watching the game. That was awesome.
That was a great night.
I believe that was March 10th. Was it Saturday or was it a Sunday? It might have been March 9th.
Saturday.
It was March
Saturday.
9th.
March 9th. Chris, can I do one more honorable mention?
Absolutely.
Game 5 versus the Heat. We ended their season. F those guys. But they took the Celtics to 5, and that was the most games the Celtics played in the playoffs without Terry Rozier or Jimmy Butler. So hang the banner.
Yeah, and Jimmy Butler still has the same amount of rings as the 4 of us. So congrats, pal.
But he's still gonna hold the next one. He'll hold the next one.
Yeah.
At least he's still young and he's got a lot of time to win one.
Guys, I'm just. Why did the Celtics not trade Tatum and Brown for Jimmy Butler? Those picks,
They should have done that.
draft picks are useless. They should have traded Jimmy Butler because they Jimmy Butler and Isaiah Thomas would have beaten LeBron, Kyrie, Kevin Love, and Ty Lue. I don't know why anyone says otherwise. Jimmy Butler, he's a winner. He's got that dog in him, even though he wins less than Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. But apparently he gets the winner's pass, but they don't. So
He wins less than Nemes Keita.
That's true.
he does. That's right.
Steve
Holy
Mikhailiuk
crap.
has more rings.
This victory lap over we're doing this tonight. This is not going to be just tonight. We're doing this victory lap. We are going to be so loud and obnoxious all season long. So get ready for that. We did run over time. We're not going to do that again. Sorry, Fluence, if you're watching this. But
Chris, before you do your last second spiel, I think I speak for all 3 of us, me and the 2 Matts. I know we had our cheers segment earlier, but I'd like to do one more cheers to All-American Hooper.
Yes.
Biggest fan I know. Thank you for making this season just a little bit more special. I love hopping on this show every Tuesday night. I've had a great time, and it makes 2024 that much more special that we got the chance to talk about this on a podcast. So shout out to AAH.
appreciate it, guys.
Cheers,
Thank you,
AAH.
AH.
Yeah.
Cheers.
I wouldn't want to do it on. I love you guys. Yeah, I love you guys. I wouldn't want to do this with another group of guys. So super thankful for you guys. Super thankful for this. And excellent banner, John. Love that. But I'm happy to be wearing Ow! I'm pumped to be wearing Celtics merch again because I have a rule with myself that I don't wear Celtics merch during the playoffs because I feel like they lose every time I do. So happy to be wearing merch again. I'm going to be repping it all season long. But yeah, that marks the end of our show. This has been the All-American Hoops podcast. I'm Chris Driscoll signing off, and I hope everyone has a fantastic night.